All right, let's dive right in. We're about to unlock a really profound secret from the Zohar, a teaching that gets to the absolute heart of creation, the continuity of life, and, believe it or not, our sacred role within this massive cosmic system. We're going to explore how one of the most basic human acts is understood not just as a biological function, but as a critical moment in the actual engineering of reality itself.
So our whole journey today starts with this one single powerful line from the Zohar. It's a commentary on Genesis, and on the surface, the verse is just describing a fruit tree whose seed is in it upon the earth. Simple enough, right? But the Zohar, well, it sees so much more. It sees a universal law. And from this simple description of a tree, it pulls out this staggering principle. From here, a person has no permission to emit his seed for no reason. This isn't just a rule, it's a revelation about the very fabric of the cosmos. And our job today is to figure out why this carries such incredible weight.
To really get this, we're going to journey through 6 stages. We'll start with the big picture, the seed of worlds, then zoom into the cosmic engineering of the divine flow of life. From there, we'll see our role in the gardener's trust and, what happens when that trust is broken in When Sparks Fall. But don't worry, there's a path back. We'll find that in reclaiming the light before we finally grasp our cosmic inheritance. Okay, to really wrap our heads around what the Zohar is talking about, let's start with a really powerful image. I want you to picture reality as this vast cosmic orchard. Now, in this orchard, every single seed isn't just a potential plant or a single life. No, it's a glowing packet of potential, literally containing entire worlds, future generations, and streams of divine light, all just waiting to be planted. This is a universe that is fundamentally designed for propagation and continuity. This is where we see that when the Kabbalists use the word zara, or seed, they mean something way beyond the physical. The sources explain it's the koach, the concentrated creative power of the universe itself. For example, a mystical text called the Book of Faith puts it like this. There he sowed a seed to give birth for the benefit of the worlds. See? This isn't just biology. It's straight-up cosmology. Every seed is like a data packet of life, containing the blueprint for souls and even whole realities. This slide just nails the core idea. That simple phrase from Genesis, whose seed is in it, is revealed to be the fundamental operating system for all of existence. The classic mystical work, the Book of Holy Communion, explains that creation follows this specific order. First, you have the potential, what it calls herb-yielding seed, which then grows up into the fruit tree. This isn't botany class, it's a cosmic principle that makes sure life contains the code to continue itself in a kind of endless chain of becoming. Okay, so we have this picture of a cosmic orchard, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood, look at the schematics, the spiritual physics, or what we can call the cosmic engineering behind it all. How does this creative energy actually flow through the universe to make new worlds and new souls? The sources describe a very precise, very structured system for how divine abundance, or shefa, gets transmitted. This creative force doesn't just show up randomly. It flows down from the highest spiritual realms through a series of divine attributes, what the Kabbalists call the Sephirot. It's then channeled through the specific point called Yesod, the foundation, and received by Malkut, the kingdom, which is our physical reality. This is what allows for life to actually manifest in our world. And this brings us to Yesod, which is, and I can't stress this enough, the absolute key to this entire process. Think of it as the main pipeline, the great conduit in this whole cosmic engineering project. It gathers all the creative energies from the other Sephirot above it and focuses them into a single channel, ready for transmission. It's also called Tzaddik, the righteous one, because its whole purpose is to faithfully transmit this life-giving flow without messing it up. The new Zohar even says that the seed of David and the very pillar of the world comes from this Tzaddik, the foundation of the world. Now, to get even more specific, a foundational Kabbalistic text, Etz Chaim, or Tree of Life, makes this really critical distinction. It explains that up in the higher spiritual realms, the divine union is constant, always on, just sustaining the system itself. But the lower union, the one that directly creates our reality, that one is intermittent. It only connects for the specific purpose of generating new souls. This means that powerful flow has to be managed very, very carefully to make sure that creative energy isn't just lost to chaos. So, we've seen the grand cosmic design, this really intricate engineering of creation. But you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with us? Well, this section is where it all gets personal. We are the gardeners in this cosmic orchard. And that brings us right back to the Zohar's stark statement. But now we can see it in its full context. This isn't just some moral rule, it's the main operational directive for the human partner in creation. If Yesod is the cosmic transmitter, then we, created in the divine image, are the earthly counterparts. We are literally entrusted with the sacred flow, a packet of creative potential. And here, the act is completely reframed. It becomes a system-critical choice. The Harkani commentary on the Zohar explains that the verse whose seed is in it can be read another way, as the seed of Vav is in it. Vav is the Hebrew letter representing Tiferet, the divine masculine principle. What this means is the seed carries the very essence of the upper worlds. So to waste it is to divert a sacred divine flow from its purpose. It's a choice. Either you align with the cosmic drive for continuity, or you disrupt it. So, what happens when this directive is ignored? What are the consequences when this carefully engineered system is breached and that precious generative packet is diverted, sent without a proper vessel, and lost to the void? What happens when these sparks of potential fall into shadow? The sources are, well, incredibly explicit about the fallout. This isn't viewed as a minor slip-up. It's described as kicking off a chain reaction that destabilizes the whole spiritual ecosystem. To use a modern analogy, it's like taking a high-value data packet designed to generate entire new systems and just throwing it into the static. Not only is the processing potential lost, but worse, it actually corrupts the network. This slide breaks down the specific damages because the energy doesn't just disappear. The mystical text, the Book of Grace to Abraham, explains that it gets seized by what are called the klipot. Think of these like metaphysical black holes or husks, chaotic forces that exist outside the divine system. This misplaced energy actually feeds them, empowering the forces of chaos. It also creates these distorted spiritual forms, called Benum Zirim, or strange children, entities born of potential but without a proper place in the cosmic order. And most critically, it creates a blockage, disrupting the flow of Shefa to our world, resulting in a spiritual reality of Batala, emptiness, nothingness, waste. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the severity of that blockage. The foundational Kabbalistic work, Pardes Rimonim, uses this powerful imagery. The river they're talking about, that's Yesod, that great conduit of life we discussed. This act is seen as so contrary to the flow of creation that it causes the very channel of abundance to dry up. The world is quite literally starved of its spiritual sustenance. The Book of Shaarei Tzedek echoes this, saying that because of this, the pipelines are broken, the springs are sealed, and the land becomes parched.
Now, having laid out the potential for such a catastrophic system breach, the mystical texts don't just leave us there. They provide a powerful framework for repair, for system maintenance, and for rectification. This is the protocol of tikkun, the sacred act of mending the cosmos.
We can frame this in a really modern way, almost like a video game. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is tikkun olam, world rectification. Your objective is to go back and reclaim those lost sparks of creative energy that fell into that other realm. Every action you take, every thought you have, becomes a move in this great game. You can either use your energy to build new holy worlds, or you can inadvertently empower the forces of chaos. So what's the protocol for this mission? First, and this is the most important part, is to sanctify your intention. It's about elevating the physical act into a conscious, holy union, a moment of alignment with a divine will. Second, it's about channeling that creative energy with purpose. This can be for physical generation, but as we'll see, it can also be for spiritual generation. Third is the work of reclaiming those lost sparks through righteous deeds, through sacred study, and through acts of personal purity. And finally, the goal is to restore the flow, to repair those broken pipelines and realign our world with the divine plan. Now, this passage from the Book of Grace to Abraham it's absolutely revolutionary because it reveals the true heart of tikkun. It shows us that this is not solely about physical procreation. A union that's done with holiness and intention, even if it can't produce physical children, is said to produce in the soul. It generates spiritual reality. It creates the souls that they made in Haran. And here's the key. When the act is sanctified and purposeful, it is never considered waste. It always aligns with the creative cosmic flow, either physically or spiritually. And just like that, our journey comes full circle. We've traveled from the vast cosmic system through the mechanics of spiritual physics and the weight of human responsibility, all the way to the protocol for repair. And this brings us right back to where we started, that image of the cosmic orchard. But now, hopefully, we see it with new eyes. We understand our place in it. The ultimate takeaway from this whole explainer is not one of fear or burden, but of profound empowerment. This ancient wisdom, it's an inheritance, a key that's been passed down to us. It unlocks an understanding of the immense power we hold. It tells us that we aren't just passive observers in the universe. We are conscious partners, active co-creators in the ongoing work of bringing reality to its ultimate perfection. Our most intimate choices have cosmic significance. And so, this ancient teaching leaves us with a final, provocative question. It reframes our entire potential and our responsibility, not as a limitation, but as an invitation. If every single act is creation, every seed truly contains the potential for an entire world, a world of light, of connection, of holiness, then the power is in our hands. The choice is ours. What worlds will you choose to build? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.